A moonless night on the great estate of Collinwood, and a mysterious spirit has led two men to a desolate part of the forest which surrounds the ancient house. There they uncover a strange secret that can help them or lead them to disaster.
It's a coffin. It's a child's coffin.
Doesn't seem to have any markings. And it was buried in an unmarked grave.
Whose do you suppose it is?
Well, I don't know, but I think we better open it. It was an infant.
What's that thing right there?
A pentagram.
And with the 2 points downward.
Someone here, long, long ago, needed protection too. Protection from a werewolf.
I don't believe it. Can it really mean that a werewolf existed around here before?
That's all it can mean.
But surely we would have heard. There would have been stories of some kind, legends. Why haven't we?
Perhaps the people who knew then were as quiet as Julia and I are now.
But if there were another werewolf around here before, it must have something to do with me.
Well, we wouldn't have been here otherwise.
How old do you suppose that coffin is?
Oh, it's hard to say. 50, 75 years. It certainly isn't the pine box of the earlier period.
Well, why was it buried here is what I want to know. If it has something to do with me, why is it on the burial grounds of Collinwood?
Well, was your family here in Collinsport, say, 75 years ago?
Well, yes, but I don't think they would have known the Collinses. How can we find out? We have to find out.
Oh, we shall clean this. And perhaps there will be a date on it. If so, we can look up old newspapers to see if there were stories of any strange animal attacks at the time.
Imagine. Can you imagine a mother buying a pentagram?
Chris, this will help us.
How?
I don't know, but it should.
If only that woman could speak.
Perhaps she can't. Perhaps she dare not. She wants to do everything she can for us. Of that I'm sure. Now come, let's put this back in the ground.
David.
Oh, it's late. I should be in bed. Isn't that what you were going to say?
There's no need for me to say anything.
I just wasn't sleeping.
What book do you have, David?
Oh, nothing. I was just looking for one. Aunt Elizabeth told me that I wasn't reading enough.
Let me see it.
I just thought I'd read myself to sleep.
Ghosts and exorcism. David, why in the world do you want to read this?
Carolyn, have you ever seen a ghost? I mean, really seen one.
Why, have you? David, what's wrong? Does it have something to do with this?
No, I just picked that to get my mind off.
Off what?
This is a funny house we live in, isn't it, Carolyn?
Funny?
Well, yeah, so many weird things happen in it. Like Father falling down the stairs. And you being attacked by an animal. And Elizabeth, too. Sometimes I just think we should move out of this house. Sometimes I really think...
Think what, David?
I better go.
Go where? David, finish what you were saying.
I'm just so tired now.
All right. But tomorrow we're going to have a talk.
Good night.
Good night, David.
You imagine the night this child was buried so long ago. The mother was probably the woman who guided us here.
Isn't there any way we can find out who this child was?
I doubt it.
Why?
Well, anyone who would bury an infant here would not likely register the birth or the death.
Wait a minute, I hate to go. It seems we must be missing some clue, and that it's got to be around here somewhere. You don't think she pointed this out to me just to find that pentagram?
I think this should be enough, once we know what we must do with it. Come.
No, I don't want to do it, Quentin. Every time that you ask me to do things like that, something really terrible happens. No. 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 All right, Quentin. I'll get the medallion for you.
David, must you do that in the drawing room?
I just got it, Barnabas.
Well, does that mean that you can't play with it up in your bedroom?
In other words, I'm bothering you, right?
Yes, right.
What are you doing?
Trying to read the writing on the back of this medallion.
What does it say?
To guard you from Cerberus.
What's Cerberus?
Well, now, you should be able to tell me.
I'm not very good in history.
Well, Cerberus was a wild dog who guarded the gates of hell.
What a cheerful conversation. Good morning.
Did he guard it so people wouldn't go in?
So no one could get out, I think. That would be more logical. What started this mythology lesson?
This medallion, I found it in an old trunk in the basement of the old house.
The five-pointed star.
Fascinates me.
May I see it? The jeweler's mark looks so familiar.
I thought so, too.
It's Mr. Braithwaite's.
Are you sure?
Yes. When David dropped that,
Oh, you would remember that.
I took it to him to have it repaired. He said his father had made it for some Collins.
Thank you, Carolyn.
For what?
I'm anxious to know the history of that.
Really? Doesn't look very valuable. David, you and I were going to have a conversation today, remember?
I can't.
David.
Carolyn, I really can't. I've got lots of work to do, and Maggie told me that I couldn't leave until I finished it all.
David, you're making up an excuse.
Oh, Carolyn, what do we have to talk about anyway? I never even read that book.
All right, David. But I'll talk to you later.
David, please. Hello, Braithwaites. Mr. Braithwaite, please. Well, Mr. Braithwaite, this is Barnabas Collins.
Barnabas Collins, you said?
That's right, Mr. Braithwaite.
Oh, a pleasure to hear from you, Mr. Collins.
Mr. Braithwaite, I've just discovered a curious medallion at the old house. One I think that your firm might have made years ago.
Been in business since 1781. Made most every piece of silver for the Collins house at one time or other.
Well, I tell you, I'm most curious to know the history of this particular piece. Would it be convenient if I brought it over to you to look at now? A half hour? Perfect. You have kept all your business records, I'm sure.
What I don't remember, Mr. Collins, we got written down somewhere.
Good. I'll see you shortly. Goodbye, Mr. Braithwaite. David, how many times do I have to tell you now?
Well, I've got to do something.
Well, I agree with that. I suggest that you do what you mentioned to Carolyn.
Oh, I have to wait for Amy. If I went to Maggie and asked her, she'd just tell me to go outside. And I won't be able to play with those outside. What are you looking for?
That medallion.
One that you put in your pocket?
My pocket.
Yes, I thought I saw you put it there before you went to the phone.
I certainly didn't. I distinctly...
Maybe it fell on the floor. I'll look.
Oh, do you see it?
No.
Well, I definitely put it in the center of that desk. I'm positive. You didn't pick it up to look at it, did you?
No, I don't like old things.
You're not answering my question, David. Did you touch that medallion?
No, of course not.
Well, then if you didn't, why isn't it here? There were just the two of us here alone.
Well, that doesn't mean that I took it.
You must have.
Barnabas, you can search me. All I have is my allowance and some bubble gum that Amy traded me for a little box of raisins. And I've got my pocket knife.
Well, I'm sorry to have accused you, David. It's just that I don't understand.
Lots of things happen in this house that no one can understand, Barnabas. You should know that. I'm gonna go ask Amy if she can come out and play.
Yes, of course.
What a pity you lost it. So much easier for me to remember it when I can see it. My, what an unusual design. Not the sort of thing we're accustomed to making, Mr. Collins. But we've been asked to make some odd things, I can tell you that. I remember when I started in this business, my father, Ezra Junius Braithwaite. You don't remember him, do you? I know, of course you don't. He died in 1901.
A little before my time, Mr. Braithwaite.
You're sure we made this for your family? My father always admired the Collins taste so.
Well, it had your markings. I would like to know exactly who in the Collins family had this made. It must have been someone from Collinwood, or I wouldn't have found it there.
Now, wait. Now, wait. I have a memory. No, it's gone. When I was young, there wasn't anything I wanted to remember. But now that I do, there just doesn't seem to be anything to remember.
Well, Mr. Braithwaite, this is vital. A friend and I, well, it means a great deal to us. I can assure you of that.
A friend, too?
Yes. Yes. Now, could you consult your records? Just our family accounts.
Well, they go back a long way.
Well, I'm sure that this is a Victorian piece. Would you try?
It'll take some time. I'll get to it as soon as the shop's closed. Only part-time help now. People don't seem to care about fine things the way they used to.
Well, if you do find it by this evening, will you call me at Collinwood?
Why, of course, Mr. Collins.
I'll be quite glad to drive over at any time. You understand that?
Oh, yes, you young people. Things are important to you. You won't remember 6 months later.
Oh, I'll remember, Mr. Braithwaite. You can be assured of that. I hope to hear from you later.
All right.
You aren't going to do anything terrible with it, are you, Quentin? You promised me that you wouldn't. You did, Quentin, remember?
Champagne, eh? What's this all about?
It's an occasion.
What's your birthday?
No.
What then?
I've been trying to get you to ask me out for dinner for weeks. Haven't you noticed?
No, I didn't notice that.
I've begun to think you had what might be called other interests. Every time the sun went down, you simply disappeared. I'm sorry. I'm not crying, really. Cheers.
Cheers. I am glad we're having dinner together.
Good.
I've been meaning to ask you for, well, some time now.
You're very shy.
It's a nice way of putting it.
I always put things nicely. You'll find that out.
Oh, excuse me.
Come in, Barnabas. Champagne?
No, thank you, Calvin. I just want to get my paper.
Hey, now, our reservations are going to be ready in about 15 minutes.
You'll pour yourself another glass. I'll get my coat.
Did you hear anything about the jeweler?
No, and I doubt if I'll hear tonight.
Well, if you do, will you leave a message here, a note, anything?
Look, please. I've curbed my impatience. You must curb yours, too.
Secrets?
I hope so.
Oh, Chris. Now I have a mission for this evening. To find out every one of them.
Good luck. Good night.
Barnabas,
Hello, David.
was that medallion that you lost worth a lot of money?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you seem so upset.
Oh, well, it means something to me personally.
What? What could it mean?
Oh, nothing for you to worry about, David. Oh, David, tell Mrs. Johnson that I may be having a call tonight from Mr. Braithwaite, the jeweler. I'll be in your father's study. And tell her to let me know it's however late the call comes.
I'll tell her, Barnabas. Hello?
Mr. Collins,
Oh, no, I'm David Collins.
this is Ezra Braithwaite, Mr. Barnabas Collins.
Oh, I know. He's expecting you.
I have the information he asked for.
Oh, I guess he'll be very pleased.
Why don't I bring it out then, dear me, yes. I drive past Collingwood on my way home.
I'll tell him.
I'll bring the ledger too. Yes, it has the name of the purchaser. I don't know how I could have forgotten that medallion. Why, it was one of the first pieces I made myself. I'll be there soon.
You had no right to do that. No right at all. What do you want? I have to tell Barnabas. He's expecting Mr. Braithwaite. I have to tell him. What do you want? What?